So with that, we'll get going. Please keep in mind that I'm here for you. So if you have questions, please put it in the question tab of the webinar, and I'll do my best to answer those. If it's something that needs to be held for later, then somebody from Senior Insurance Marketing will follow up with you with that answer. So with that, we'll get going. As Todd said, I work for Cigna. I'm the Regional VP of Cigna. We're going to talk about our cancer, heart attack, and stroke product today that is issued by Loyal American Life Insurance Company. It's just a subsidiary life insurance Cigna owns, so it's still a Cigna company, Cigna product. And today, as we've said, going to talk about flexible choice cancer, heart attack, and stroke. So it's a really good product, really simple. It was just voted by an organization the best value for cancer insurance in the industry. So it's a really good time to look at that, not only as Todd said because February is Heart Awareness Month, but it's also been voted a really good value. So great time to look at it. As we talk about stuff, in our industry, we talk a lot about stats as we're trying to explain to our clients what their exposure is to risk. I'm not going to get into all the stats on the screen, but here's a couple that should drive the point home on the cancer side. 1 in 2 men, roughly, are going to get internal cancer in their lifetime. And more than 1 in 3 women are also going to get internal cancer in their lifetime. And ladies, you aren't quite as lucky as you think because your cancer rates are actually growing quicker than ours. So it is possible in the future that you'll actually be at higher risk of cancer than we are. The good news is people aren't always dying from cancer, heart attack, and stroke like they used to. So with medical advancements, people are living longer. So these type of policies are very important to offer to your clients. And the one we're going to talk about today is really easy to understand. So whether you have been selling cancer, heart attack, and stroke for many, many years and are an expert, or whether you've never sold one before and are looking for something new to offer your clients, I think you're going to like this one. Let's talk about it in a little bit of a nutshell before we get a little deeper in the product. It's available in most states from 18 to 99, and it's a lump sum benefit from $5,000 to $100,000. So really what that means is it's not a scheduled benefit. Your clients don't have to have certain conditions and then they get a portion of this benefit or a portion of that benefit. Basically the way it works is if your client's diagnosed with internal cancer, they get whatever benefit they bought on the cancer side. Likewise, if they have heart attack, stroke, or need a heart transplant, they qualify for the full benefit of what they bought on the heart attack and the stroke side. So it's very, very simple. And it's paid directly to the insured or their beneficiary. So it's not paid to a doctor or a hospital or anything like that. We pay the client or their beneficiary and they decide what to do with the money. So let's look at it. This product can be sold one of 3 ways. It can be either sold cancer standalone, heart attack and stroke standalone, or cancer with heart attack and stroke combined. Now, it's really important to understand that they are separate buckets of money. And what that means is if your client has, let's say they have a family history of internal cancer, and they're more concerned about getting cancer than they are about having a heart attack and stroke, but they understand that we're all at risk of heart attack or stroke, they can actually buy a bigger benefit for cancer than a heart attack and stroke. Or conversely, if their family history is heart attack, stroke, cardiovascular issues, they can buy a bigger heart attack and stroke benefit than cancer. They can be the same, it's up to the client, but they're separate buckets of money. So what that means is if they have both and maybe they get internal cancer, well sure, they use the benefit of the cancer, But as long as they continue to pay the premium, they still have the heart attack and stroke benefit available. God forbid if they ever have a heart attack, stroke, or need a heart transplant. So it's a really nice product. Now our cancer product is really, really easy. Internal cancer diagnosed by a medical professional, we pay 100% of the benefit. Now for those of you who are newer, or those of you who have done this before, keep in mind a lot of the products out there cover carcinoma in situ at 25% of the benefit. We actually cover that at 100% of the selected benefit. Now if you aren't a medical professional and you haven't run into this before, you may be wondering what carcinoma in situ is. Well, simply that's non-metastasized cancer, non-spreading. It's localized cancer that is not spread throughout the body into different parts of the body. A lot of our competitors' products only cover that at 25% of the selected benefit. Now think to yourself, you go out, you sit down with clients, you're doing the right thing and you're selling them this product to protect themselves from what could be financial peril, God forbid if they ever have cancer. You go through and you're selling one of these competitor products that only covers that at 25%. Your client one day gets diagnosed with internal cancer. Do you think they remember that that's only covered at 25% if it's not spreading? Do you think they're going to go, hey doctor, hold on a minute, I need to know if it's carcinoma in situ or if it's metastasized cancer? Because Todd at Senior Insurance Marketing sold me a cancer product 3 years ago. They don't remember that, guys. So if you don't sell them a product that covers it at 100%, I promise you that's not going to be a fun conversation to have. God forbid if your client ever gets diagnosed with internal cancer. I've actually talked to agents who've gone through that scenario in real life with clients, and they say it's one of the hardest conversations they have to have. So just even if it's not mine, make sure it covers carcinoma in situ at 100%. Now the other good thing we have is we have a reoccurrence rider available on this. So as you see in front of you, your client, let's say they choose the rider and they have internal cancer and they're 2 to 5 years clear of cancer. Guess what? If it comes back, they get 25% of the benefits. After 5 years, 75%, and after 10 years, 100% of the benefit. And if you look at statistics, if somebody's been diagnosed and had internal cancer, they're much more likely to get it again than somebody who's never had it. And by the way, these riders, the reoccurrence and restoration riders, are very affordable. A couple bucks a month, get your client that restoration or reoccurrence rider, and they keep it. And by the way, then they don't have to wait till they're free for X amount of years. They can still pay the premium at the younger age, which as we all know, once they hit that senior age, the slope of price goes up pretty steep. So it gets expensive a lot quicker. So now we're going to talk about the heart attack and stroke portion of this. Here's how it works. Heart attacks, heart transplant, stroke, so what I call the big three cardiovascular issues, are covered at 100% of the selected benefit. However, if your client needs something different, maybe a preventative surgery or procedure, they actually can accelerate the benefit up to 25% depending on what they need. So if you have a client that needs coronary artery bypass surgery and they have a $10,000 policy, they can actually file a claim and get a $2,500 benefit accelerated to them. Now what happens is if they accelerate that benefit, we reserve the other $7,500 of that $10,000 benefit for if they have one of those big three, the heart attack, stroke, or need a heart transplant. Now important to note, those bottom 5 preventative procedures can only be claimed once. So they can't go in for a coronary artery bypass surgery, claim it once, then a few years later they need it something else, another bypass surgery, and claim it again. but it is a really nice benefit for your clients to have when they need it most. Now, like the reoccurrence rider on cancer, the restoration rider works exactly the same way. Same years, same percentages, and again, very affordable. We're talking only a couple dollars a month to add these riders to your policy for your clients, which I'll illustrate when we get to some sample rates here in just a couple minutes. Now, we also offer a few other riders. We don't sell a lot of the hospital and the ICU riders, but we do sell a considerable amount of return of premium riders. Because let's be honest, one of your clients, if they're going to object to buying this, one of their biggest objection is going to be, what if I never, right? What if I never get cancer? And greedy Cigna just keeps all my money and never pays out a benefit. I die, my husband, wife, kids, whomever are left with nothing. Well, if that is really their objection, if that's really the reason they aren't going to buy for you, the return of premium rider is exactly the response you're going to need. You're going to be able to say, well, sir, ma'am, Cigna actually has this rider that if you buy it and you die, they will not only return every penny you paid on the base policy, but also every penny you paid for the rider minus any claims paid when you die. So like I said earlier, the heart attack and stroke benefit, they could have accelerated some of that, but if they paid more than even they accelerated, they're going to get every additional penny back. So if they die and haven't used the full benefit, worst case scenario, it's a glorified savings account, right? It's a rainy day fund that they can leave to their loved one. Best case scenario, they go in and unfortunately have cancer, heart attack, and stroke, and you were the person that sat them down, explained what their options were, and helped them shield themselves and their family from possible financial peril. Because, guys, I'm going to tell you, somebody with cancer, it's not cheap. Heart attack and stroke stuff, that's not cheap anymore. So everything we can do to help and explain to our clients what their exposure is very important. I'm a firm believer that we're in a service industry, not a sales industry. When we service our clients, when we explain to them what their exposures are and what we can do to help them shield themselves from that exposure, I think sales come natural. So just keep that in mind. Now, I know we've got people from all over the country on this call. As you see, this product's available in every state except for Virginia and New York. It's actually coming in Virginia pretty soon. Now, New York, it's not going to be in New York. It's got some different regulations. So if you're a big seller in New York, I apologize, we won't have this product in New York probably. So let's talk a little bit about rates, because no matter how good the policy is, it doesn't matter if our clients can afford it, right? So this is a very affordable policy. Now, the samples I'm going to show you are based on senior ages. Keep that in mind. If we can sell this all the way down to 18, so if they're younger than this, obviously it's going to be less expensive. But on the screen now, it's a $5,000 benefit. For cancer, for somebody who's 66, that only costs $16 a month. Now, if they're 70 and want a $10,000 policy, it's only $36.50 a month. And then the last sample rate I've got for you shows a couple different things. First of all, as you see, the cancer benefit is $10,000, but the heart attack and stroke benefit is $5,000. Again, to illustrate that they're separate buckets of money that can have separate benefit amounts. Also, as you see in between them, we added the cancer reoccurrence benefit rider for that $10,000. For a 67-year-old person, that's only $2.60 a month. Folks, I don't understand why you wouldn't talk to your clients about the importance of adding that on every policy that you sell with us. For $2.60 a month, that's less than half a cup of coffee nowadays at most coffee places. Why wouldn't you add that for your clients. So when I'm standing in front of people doing this presentation, right here I say, who likes underwriting? And I've got to be honest. In those presentations I've done, I've never had an agent that was serious when they raised their hand and said they liked underwriting. Well, I've been out in the field like most of you. I know how hard your job is. I used to think that underwriting was short for Sales Prevention Unit of, and then insert insurance company name here. Now I will tell you, now that I'm on this side of the conversation, I understand it a little better. I'm a proponent for fair underwriting, right? So if there was no underwriting for this product, the rates would be a lot higher. Our clients couldn't afford it. So what I asked for, and what I believe Cigna delivered, is, hey, give me fair underwriting that I don't have to be a medical professional to go through with my clients, and don't make it 8 million questions. Make it simple where we can get it done. So let's look at them. Now if you're selling cancer standalone, these are the questions you're going to ask your client. Now question 1 is, do you now or have you ever had AIDS, HIV, or ARC, which is AIDS-related complex? And then you're going to ask these next 2 questions, and I'm going to paraphrase, but basically it is, in the last 10 years, have you been diagnosed, treated, or hospitalized for internal cancer? The second question is, in the last 5 years, have you been told by a doctor, a medical professional, to go get checked for internal cancer, and those results not come back negative? Now if your clients can say no, no, and no, they qualify for a cancer benefit. Pretty simple, right? Now if you're selling heart attack and stroke standalone, you're going to ask that first question, the AIDS, HIV, and ARC question, and then you're going to ask these question 4 and 5 on your screen. If you're showing cancer, heart attack, and stroke, you simply ask all 5. And these 2 questions are basically, in the last 10 years, have you been advised to go get checked for heart or circulatory system issues, and that not come back as a positive result or a you're in good health result? Or in the last year, have you had a heart attack, stroke, TIA, etc.? And if they can answer no to both of those, they qualify for a heart attack and stroke benefit. So again, the good thing, I've read a lot of different health questions for different products. I used to sit there and pull my hair out. I'm actually almost bald now from having to sit and read through medical underwriting questions that carriers put together. Ours is simple. It's straightforward. It's easy to go through with your clients, where you don't have to be a medical professional and your client doesn't have to pull out the internet to look up what does that mean, what does that mean. So it's really simple. Now keep in mind, if you add more, if you add the hospital indemnity, the ICU, there are going to be a few other underwriting questions. Now with that, that's the product in a nutshell. But I did want to tell you one thing that we're about to start, because I love incentives. We're about to start March 1st. We're going to start qualification for our 2020 agent conference. Now the great thing about Cigna is we don't cap qualifiers. So we are going to Monaco. We're going to stay right outside of Monte Carlo in Monaco in June of 2020. Qualification is a whole year, and it starts March 1st. So none of you have missed a single day of the opportunity to qualify. And if you sell products like this, our cancer, heart attack, and stroke, or our other ancillary products, you get 300% of annualized premium as credit. And if you sell MedSup with us, you get 100%. So just to give you a rough idea, it's around $75,000 in cancer policies, or it's about $250,000 in MedSup. Now, what most of our agents do is they sell both, right? They sell MedSup and they add cancer, heart attack, and stroke, and then we blend qualifying credits. So we would love, love, love to see more of our senior insurance marketing agents on our trip. Again, we don't cap it. We don't say, hey, we'll only take 50, and if you're 51, sorry, thanks for all the business. We take everybody that qualifies and is in good standing, you will get an invitation. So with that, I know I went pretty fast, but if you have questions, I'm done with the basic presentation part of this webinar. Happy to answer any questions. And I really, really, really appreciate your time. Like I said, I've been an agent. I've been out in the field. I know how hard it is to do your job, and that when you're not out in the field, you aren't making money, you aren't putting food on the table and paying your bills. So I appreciate you spending time with Todd and I today for this webinar. Hope you got something out of it. But if you have a question, please let me know. And Todd, I'll throw it back to you.
Thanks, Jim. Really appreciate you telling us about the Cigna product by Loyal American, and also Monaco. What a great place to go for a trip. That is an awesome place. Also, just wanted to let you know that during the month of February, this is a senior insurance marketing promotion only, that you can earn up to $50 cash bonus per application. And it's through the month of February. And feel free to give us a call here at Senior Insurance Marketing at 877-800-3080, and we will tell you more about it. And what a great way to sell the product, earn some commission, plus also earn additional $50 cash bonus per application during the month of February. Again, Jim, thanks for your time today. It's a
You're
great
welcome.
product.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And, heart attack, cancer, and stroke, who in your family that you knew or that that has encountered any one of those ailments, and it's something that everyone needs to have one of those policies just in case that unfortunately happens to you or one of your family members as well too. So again, thanks for your time, everyone. Really appreciate it. And feel free to give us a call here at Senior Insurance Marketing, 877-800-3080, to learn more about the cash bonus during the month of February. Take care, everyone, and have a great day.